Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. We've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. We have every home available in the marketplace on our website at stephencooley.com. You can also ask a question on our website. We'll answer it on air. We've got great information today. Stephen Heath, one of my buyer's agents, is going to bring to the table all the statistics and information comparing 2010 to 2009. Let's see how the year's doing. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back.
This presentation of the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show is sponsored by South Carolina Bank and Trust. We believe in South Carolina.
I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. On today's show, I'm very excited to have Stephen Heath on the show with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Stephen's one of the buyer's agents here on the Stephen Cooley team, exclusively representing buyers in our marketplace for the Stephen Cooley team. And we're going to talk about some statistics that, and compare 2010 to 2009. People always are living these numbers to see how the market's going. Stephen's put in a lot of research to bring to our viewers today the information on that. So, yes. Stephen, let's hit some of the basics and work from there.
Okay, well, just to start, this is from our local MLS system, Paragon, and just comparing total sales for the first 6 months of last year to the first 6 months of this year. Last year we had 1,320 sales through the first 6 months. This year we've got 1,203 sales through the first 6 months. Both years very similar as far as what price ranges really drove those sales. Last year 53% of the sales were under 150. This year so far 51% are under 150. And that over 400 market still struggling a little, only representing 2.5% of those total sales. But, some things to keep in mind. There are currently 339 pending properties right now. So that's always good to know that things are still going to be closing and selling.
Absolutely.
This year did start off a little slow. We had 2 months in the red. January declined about 9%, February about 6%. But May had a 20% increase in our Paragon.
Absolutely. And here in the industry, we're all speculating that the tax credit deadline of April 30th got the other 3 months just really kicking.
Right. Yeah, we kind of borrowed buyers. Usually you see that influx in the spring. Absolutely. But I think towards the end of last year, we borrowed maybe a segment of those buyers that we would have seen this year.
Right. So and moved them ahead. And all of 2009 had that tax credit, and the remainder of 2010 will not have that tax credit. So we're anxious to see what the next 6 months of 2010 brings. But it sounds like from your statistics, 09 and 010 were neck and neck.
Right. Yeah, and I was going to say that tax credit, if you were active military serving in Iraq, you could still take advantage.
Absolutely. So great information there. And if you are your spouse, or if you're serving in the military, then you can check with us and we can get that information to you. So great information there too. More numbers. How did I know? We cover all of York, Lancaster, Chester County, and looking at York County, Rock Hill is the busiest of the cities with home sales.
Yes, correct. The first 6 months last year, York County saw 935 sales. Rock Hill represented 49%, almost half. Our biggest two representatives for the first 6 months of both years have been Rock Hill and Fort Mill, combining for 72% of those sales.
Of the real estate sales, 72% is Rock Hill, Fort Mill addresses.
Yes, correct. Correct.
And I see that runs similar year to year, with just a little bit varying between Rock Hill and Fort Mill. And the interesting thing, Clover's 8%, Lake Wiley's 5%, and TKK makes up about 4% of the sales in York County. So good information there too.
Moving on, I thought it'd be good to break down our biggest representatives of those sales.
And price ranges.
Correct. So for Rock Hill, last year, the first 6 months, we saw a little over $64 million in volume up until June 30th. There were 462 sales. 65% of those were under 150, so that was kind of still what was driving it. And we only had 4 sales over 400 through the first 6 months
of this year
with a Rock Hill address.
Absolutely. And I think that's really something to note for people, that there's over 100 listings above 400,000 and only 4 have sold, and there's 1 pending right now.
Correct. So for 2010, very similar numbers. We've got 5 sales so far over 400, 1 currently pending. But again, pretty much on track with last year, with 101 properties currently pending. So we're on track.
And it seems to be that the higher priced homes do better in Fort Mill.
Yeah, I guess it's probably location, being closer to Charlotte.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves those schools up there. Land is a little more hard to come by, I
Absolutely.
guess. So property values are a little higher up there. So in Fort Mill sales, both years through the first 6 months, 50% of those sales were between $150 and $300. So they got a higher price point average.
Absolutely.
Per sale.
Absolutely. And I see that Fort Mill this year has seen 24 homes sell over $400,000, and that is a little bit more activity than we've seen in the past. Last year, I think there was 18 sales above 400. This year,
Correct.
24 sales above 400
Correct.
in Fort Mill.
Yeah.
So good market there.
Yeah, and as I'm looking at Fort Mill's numbers, they're actually $5 million ahead of volume year to date. So doing very well up there.
So no one's bragging on 2009 being a great year. It was one of the most interesting years in real estate, but it looks like 2010's no worse.
Right.
And so everybody was looking for when the decline would stop, and it appears by all figures that has leveled out. And so hopefully the only direction to go is up.
Right. Hopefully we've hit that valley and we're headed to the peak.
Absolutely. Real estate's still one of the best investments in the world for long-term investing in your property. We've got a great new phone app that we've put a ton of research and time in. The most wonderful thing about this app is you can be standing in front of a home, hit the app on any smartphone, whether it's a BlackBerry, iPhone, or anything, and it'll tell you the information on that.
Correct.
And so you can add that to your phone free of charge. We've covered all the expense. And Stephen, let's tell folks how to add that app to their smartphones.
Okay. Well, of course, first, every time you're standing in front of a home, we would like for you to have a Stephen Cooley team buyer's agent with you.
Absolutely.
But just in case you
Just in case.
You need to text MLS 1001 to 87778, and it's a free download. It's a great tool.
Absolutely. Again, we'll show it on screen. MLS 1001 and text 87778 to that, and you will be able to download our new Stephen Cooley Team phone app, and it will be just great information on the real estate here and keeping you updated on all real estate, which is what we enjoy doing on the show too. So please stay tuned for beautiful homes for sale in your area. Thanks for those great numbers, Stephen.
Yes.
Got any question about these, give Stephen a call. If you're interested in making a purchase, call us here at 803-985-1240 and visit us on the web at stephencooley.com.